Welcome back to the Fictitious Dark, where we explore the lines between truth and the fictitious. And today we're exploring that truth line with another true scary story from the True Scary Stories subreddit. This one is titled Skinwalker Attack in Australia. It is posted by Yman 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, and it seems like a fairly simple story. It has a little bit of YouTube links attached to it for reference, and we'll get into exactly what that is. Would you like to take this very first "Hello everyone" paragraph, and we'll swap back and forth?
Perfect. Let's do that.
Alrighty.
Hello, everyone. I do not want to say that on my old account, I did post this on a subreddit, No Sleep, but it didn't seem to be the correct platform for this story. I just want to say that I am not entirely sure that this is a skinwalker since I live in Australia. But what we encountered seems close enough so that is why I described it as a skinwalker.
Okay, so it was the summer of 2015. My buddy, whom I will call P, and his older yet still teenage cousin, who happened to be staying at his place at the time, whom I will call L, were hanging out at P's place, where we were on. Okay, there's a couple grammar things. We were on school holidays. We were on school holidays in the summer. We were both in high school, and don't know if any of you know, but in Australia has summer around the same time as Christmas. So naturally, being a few days near Christmas, that was mainly in our minds.
Eventually, P's mom told us leave to take the dogs for a walk. We thought that it was a bit strange since she usually isolated us to P's backyard, mainly his old tree house. P's bedroom and P's pool. This was done so she could keep an eye on us because a few friends in the past had stolen things, so this was very odd. For reference, P's dad was away on a business trip. But regardless of how strange her request was, we did what she asked.
For reference, P has two dogs, a male golden retriever and a female Caucasian shepherd. I will not say their names, but both dogs have quite long hair, and since the Australian summers get quite hot, they had to cut the fur so that it would be better for them.
Also, I know that most people don't know what a Caucasian shepherd dog is. For reference, it is a Russian dog, also known as Russian Ovcharka and Russian bear dog, and are known to be shepherd dogs with good guarding abilities and are very large and strong, which is why they're able to fight wolves and bears. But please note that they cannot kill a wolf or bear. That is just a myth, but when I say fight, I mean they can injure a wolf or a bear to the point that they'll give up on attacking the livestock they're guarding. And gentleman leaves two links to the
so
dog.
What those are just videos showing what that dog is. So I'll go ahead and edit and show it, in here somewhere. So you have reference that this is, yes, it is a very big dog. You definitely don't want to be on its bad side. It would be very scary, I guarantee it. But also looks like the type of dog you would want to mount and ride into battle.
Yeah.
So pretty dope dog.
Looks like a giant, like Saint Bernard, almost in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. All right. So this information is somewhat needed for later in the story. So anyway, the three of us begin to walk the dogs, and after a while, since it was hot, Elle said that we should take a trail in the nearby bush so that we can get some shade. We all agreed, and so we went into the bush. For reference, the bush is basically the Australian version of the woods. Usually in the summer, you don't go in the bush due to snakes, but we were young and wanted to get out of the sun, and so we just went.
Anyway, so about 10 minutes of walking into the bush, both dogs stop. The golden retriever starts to whimper and tries to run away, and the Caucasian shepherd stands her ground, simultaneously sniffing the air, then growling. We figured out quickly that something had spooked them. Elle thought the golden retriever might have gotten bitten by a snake. Now, like I said before, both dog breeds usually have long enough hair to somewhat protect them from snake bites, but since it was summer, their hair was short. This is a problem, and they would need to be taken to the vet immediately.
Elle quickly checked and couldn't see anything indicating a snake bite. But as I looked around for snakes, regretting that we even came here, then I saw it, and it was far from a snake. At first, I thought it was either a kangaroo or a large dog, but I quickly realized that it wasn't. It was about 17 meters away from us, which in USA mathematics is about 55 feet and 9 inches. And it was acting odd, as it had its back against a tree, arms crossed like a human, and just watching us. Kangaroos usually just lay down if they are tired, but this thing was upright, laying back on a tree. Okay, so interesting.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I will continue because it looks like it gets a,
Yeah,
you get a little bit more of a description.
I want more details on this kangaroo dog thing.
For a description, the thing I saw was like a tall man kangaroo hybrid. Arms were human, but with small claws on its fingers and covered with fur, yet body and legs like kangaroo. An extremely light brown coat. Face was similar to that of a kangaroo, but also was a bit square, shaped like a mastiff dog. Eyes were very human. So I yelled out to them, "What is the kangaroo doing?" P&L looked.
Oh, you got it.
P&L looked over and saw it both and said something on the lines of, "That ain't no kangaroo, mate."
The human eyes. That's terrifying. Yeah, I don't even know. Then it simultaneously ran and hopped as it came towards us. I think that it only attacked because we all saw it, and as it didn't look predatory when we spotted it, almost like it was minding its own business. And when it saw us see it, then it thought we were a threat or something. We didn't really have time to run, only making it 2 steps backing up before it was right in front of us. Yes, it was very fast. Okay, I mean, hopping, that's definitely a kangaroo thing.
Yeah. A kangaroo, maybe an injured animal of some sort.
Yeah. Interesting, though. Okay.
Yeah. The thing is, like, the eyes is the thing that, that you can look at, animal eyes, and you can tell they're animal eyes, but when you see human eyes, you can tell it's human eyes.
Yeah.
And so there's almost like a big difference of, like, almost the just the look and the feel of human eyes compared to an animal's eyes. Mm-hmm. So that is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's continue it.
It lunged at me, but as it was knocking me to the ground, the Caucasian shepherd jumped up, biting its arm. P fell forward and let go of the lead to lead since he was holding the Caucasian shepherd. Since a Caucasian shepherd can have a bite force up to 700 psi, which is for reference, a lion only has a bite force of 650 psi.
Damn.
Yeah. You know that this creature was truly in pain when it let out a yelling sound of similar to that of a dog whimper of pain, as the Caucasian shepherd jaws clamped down on the arm. Okay.
I want to know, like, does a kangaroo make sounds like that if it were injured? I don't know.
I have no clue. I don't think I've ever heard a kangaroo make noise.
I'm gonna look it up right now. Kangaroo whimper.
Every time I've seen a kangaroo, they've been pretty silent.
Kangaroo growl.
I wonder if, like, the kangaroo growls something close to like a almost like kind of like a dog's growl or something.
I'd
like that.
imagine it'd be close.
Yeah,
Okay, so listen to the growl.
they're pretty big animals, though. They've probably got some decent like force behind their voice.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty wild.
That's terrifying.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Almost like a bull meets a dog.
Yeah. Let me
I would be truly freaked out.
for real. Yeah. So wait, let's reread that part of the noise that it made. What was that kangaroo doing? Blah blah blah. Okay. This creature was truly in pain, letting out a yell sounding similar to that of a dog's whimper of pain. Okay, so
I could definitely understand that now after hearing that.
it can be similar to a kangaroo. I mean, I understand the whole like, a dog's whimper would be like higher pitched and everything than that. But who knows? Maybe I'll look around a little bit more later and see if I can find anything like that. Okay, yeah. So maybe this is just kind of a screwed up kangaroo. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But it's freaky nonetheless.
either way, this person posting this is someone that lives in Australia and has experience with kangaroos. And if he's adamant that it's not a kangaroo, well then he has more reference than we do, obviously, since we don't live over there.
I've never seen a kangaroo in person, so I wouldn't be able to tell, difference in one way or another.
Okay. The creature then began to claw at the Caucasian Shepherd with its free hand. Usually this wouldn't be a problem for the Caucasian Shepherd, as their long fur would act as a shield against their skin when they fight wolves in Russia. But since it was the summertime, oh yeah, that sucks. Her neck and body was exposed since the fur was too short. I was basically pinned to the ground as the two were fighting above me. Yikes.
Yeah. And, earlier in the story, he mentioned, or they mentioned, I should say, that they're young children. So this giant dog and this giant unknown animal or skinwalker on top of you fighting, that'd be pretty freaky to experience.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I myself would have ran the minute I saw the
Oh, yeah. I
the
mean,
animal when I was a
it
child.
also sounds like they just didn't have a chance, like with how
Yeah.
quickly it ran up to them.
Yeah. And I wonder, I've never really seen kangaroos move. Do they move pretty quick?
As far as I know, they can move pretty fast, and like
Yeah.
they do hops. And not
Yeah.
only do they do hops, they like their initial thing, if they're gonna attack you, is they push you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like they'll push you with their like hind legs. However, it's like the big thing that is freaky about kangaroos is there's that whole like boxing thing where like they'll punch and whatnot, but they actually have like really nasty claws on their bottom feet. I think they also have claws on their hands, but the bottom feet claws are like, that's where you're getting in trouble. If it decides to use that on you, it's not going to go well for you, bud. So the whole idea of like boxing kangaroos is really stupid, because if they just decide to bring out the claws, like you're screwed. So
Yeah, because I know the whole idea about them, they can disembowel you with their feet.
yeah, like
Yeah.
terrifying. Don't want to be on the wrong side of them, especially with those noises that they make.
Yeah.
That I didn't know about.
That was wild.
All right, let's continue.
The Caucasian Shepherd did manage to move from the arm to the creature's neck, but this somehow didn't kill the creature. The creature yelled out in pain, but since the Caucasian Shepherd was possibly too weak from its injuries or the heat of the day to really continue the bite around the neck, the creature managed to push the Caucasian Shepherd off its neck. It looked like the fight was about to turn in the favor of the creature, but Elle grabbed a large stick nearby and swung it at the back of the creature's head, which barely did anything. As the creature then turned towards him, grabbing the stick as Elle went for another swing. This allowed the Caucasian Shepherd to jump on the creature's back with whatever strength it had left and did another bite to the creature's shoulder, clearly giving up, the creature got the Caucasian Shepherd off itself again before it hopped away into the bush out of sight.
Weird.
Yeah.
Dang. Wait, so grabbing his neck as it went for another swing. Okay, so Ella was whacking it and everything. Okay, man.
And it looks like the monster or thing shrugged off like the hit against it like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Which is pretty dang wild, because even if you hit an animal or something, they're gonna back off a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But it seemed like this didn't really register to the monster, creature, cryptid, or kangaroo, or mangy kangaroo, or crazy kangaroo, or whatever this thing was. Yeah, that'd be insane to see.
Yeah, the creepy. Okay, so we all just ran out of the bush as fast as we could to get back to P's house. P and L were crying as I was limping, barely able to keep up. We needed an adult. So P ran upstairs to his mother's room as L was checking my cuts and the Caucasian Shepherd's wounds. But all we heard from upstairs was a scream from P's mom as she brought him downstairs by the ear wearing lingerie and a man in his underwear who was not P's father walking down the stairs behind her. Oh no!
Oh, the real horror.
That's the Skinwalker. It was his mom. He's like, I've never seen my mom in that scantily clad clothes. It must have been a Skinwalker.
What a plot twist.
Yeah. Oof.
All right, I'll continue. She was pissed. Aussie slang referring to someone being either drunk or extremely angry. In this case, she was not drunk. But after seeing the Caucasian Shepherd's injuries and my scratches, she calmed down and told the man to leave, which he did. She quickly got changed. It was Elle who told her what happened, but said that it was a feral large dog. She believed him, and he then took the Caucasian Shepherd to the vet while Elle took me to the doctor since he had a car.
The Caucasian Shepherd unfortunately died in 2019, not due to her injuries, while the Golden Retriever is still alive. And while P and L said nothing about P's mother's situations to P's father, but he somehow found out around New Year's and filed for divorce. I don't know much about the divorce besides the fact that P's mother hit P's dad with an AVO that he did not deserve. AVO is kind of like a restraining order. Oh, wow. Naturally causing issues in the divorce. Okay, we're just getting this like tea on the personal drama at the same time.
So it seemed like there's two personal things that they have PTSD from now.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll finish up the last little bit here. As for the creature itself, after doing some research online, including watching YouTube videos like the channels of Mr. Ballin, What Lurks Beneath, Mr. Nightmare, and Darkness Prevails, the most likely thing it could have been is a Skinwalker. But I do have my doubts as I live in Australia, not the USA. I have recently learned that the Aboriginals believed in a creature called... Aboriginals, thank you. Believed in a creature called the Kradatai, which is basically a Skinwalker with some minor differences, but there are certainly characteristics that made me doubt that it was a Kradatai, and more likely a Skinwalker. So honestly, I don't know. We actually encountered, but what do I know is that when I decide to get a dog, the Caucasian Shepherd is my top 10 for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
And he left a link to learn more about the Aboriginal Skinwalker.
Okay, cool. Before we visit that link, which I do want to do, let's look at the comments a little bit. Sigh, not a skinwalker. They're only a myth, and it's a Navajo one for that. Okay, yeah. The classic Reddit, just being like, actually, um, somebody said, that's horrifying. Maybe you encountered a Yowie, Australian equivalent of a skinwalker featured in Aboriginal folklore. This person, I think that this is the actual original author. I think that you're mistaken that Yowie is our version of Bigfoot. The Aboriginals believe in the Crafate, which is the Aboriginal version of a skinwalker. There are certain characteristics which make me feel that it's not a Crafate. I don't know how to say that. Okay. I mean, yeah, that person brought up the fact of like maybe a Bigfoot type thing, but I don't know. It sounded a little too creature-esque to be Bigfooty. Okay, so as far as following the link goes, Indigenous Australian Skinwalker. He spelled it with an F instead of a D in the comment. So Kradati is like how it's actually spelled. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so this person, I'm Aboriginal. We have our own name for them where I am, a Central Australia desert. Kradati. Oh, pronounce Kra da cha. Okay, Krada cha. Or
There we go.
that's a CHA. I imagine they pronounce that the same unless it's Krataka. Kratacha, we'll say that. Skinwalkers in the Native American folklore are eerily similar to Aboriginal folklore. My great Nan used to tell me stories. One was when she'd gone picking berries and looking for witchetty grubs, honey ants, and bush bananas with her sister back when she was younger. One had followed them to where they were camping during the evening as the sun was going down. They'd heard something crying. It sounded near. When hearing sounds, it has the opposite effect. If it was near, it would sound far away, but if it were far away, it was definitely right there. Yeah, that's a Navajo Skinwalker thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They, Great Nan and her sister, stayed where they were and acted as if they were asleep. Alert but paying attention to it, the dogs they took with them were barking but didn't move. It was on the outskirts of their camp, just out of the light of the fire, crying. Okay. It was there by the far away cries. It was near and was trying to lure them away from the light. She had told her sister not to look at it or try to speak to it. It sounded like a child crying. She said it didn't move away until the sun had started coming up. Guess it got bored. As soon as the sun was up, they made it home as fast as they could. This story has always stuck with me in my culture. Whistling at night can draw them, talking about them by word of mouth. Thankfully, I've never seen one, but I do believe they're out there. I've always known the Kratachai as an evil spirit. It could very well differ between tribes, even tribes so close together. It could even be derived from the Kadachi Kurdacha man. Okay. But looking back at the stories told to me, the later is always described as Featherfoot Man. From the stories told to me growing up as well, they make you sick or crazy. I've heard of kids going missing out bush when staying out too long. Could just be from natural occurrences, but we're a suspicious people. They can supposedly make you see things that aren't there, e.g., you walking, thinking it's a normal path, when then you walk straight off a cliff to your death. Paying attention to them gives them the power and fear strengthens them. If you ever see one, ignore it, ignore, don't pay attention to them, don't speak to them, don't go looking for them, don't be the hero that goes looking for one. They're no fun. That was a post by Illogical Musings in the Skinwalker subreddit. That particular one was posted 6 years ago. The main one we were reading was posted a month ago, so that one's recent. But okay, so let me Google this Kradacha word and see what pops up. If it's like Skinwalker looking stuff.
Yeah.
A bunch of graduating pictures popped up. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I'm seeing stuff pop up with just different stuff like Bigfoot, different indigenous things. There's the Yowie. Yeah. So
Yeah.
nothing really concrete as far as the way they like to depict this Kradacha.
Yeah.
But interesting nonetheless.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, as far as the description that he had with his encounter, he said the eyes were very human.
Yeah.
That's probably like your biggest evidence of Skinwalker, I suppose.
Yeah.
The other thing being that the arms are very human, which, yes, kangaroo have that, but at least it's like short arms.
Yeah.
I have seen certain photos where kangaroos, like, if like the bigger the kangaroo, the buffer they are, and the buffer they are, then like the more humanoid they look.
Yeah.
So this could have just been like a roided up kangaroo potentially.
Yeah.
Definitely freaky. But then again, maybe it was a Skinwalker.
Yeah. Because the whole idea about them wearing the pelts and stuff and turning. Yeah.
Exactly. So Skinwalker doing his Skinwalker thing as a kangaroo, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
He didn't say. Did he say anything about a tail? Because that would have been a sign that of it being a kangaroo. But I don't think he did say anything about a tail.
No, I didn't. I don't remember anything about the tail. It just talked about it being a tall kangaroo hybrid. Arms were humans, but with small claws on its fingers, and it was covered in fur, and it had legs like a kangaroo, and it was extremely light brown coat.
Okay.
Face was similar to that of a kangaroo, but also a bit square, shaped like a mastiff dog's. Eyes were very human.
Yeah, so if he had like a kangaroo tail, I think he probably would have described that because their tails are big. The whole point of the kangaroo's tails is like they're able to lean all their weight. They lean back and they kick, So it's like it's very noticeable that a kangaroo has a tail because it's big and it's got weight to it. So the fact he didn't mention the tail sounds like there wasn't a tail, which that would be pretty creepy looking, a kangaroo without a tail.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because for them as a child, at a quick glance they thought it was a kangaroo, but the other ones knew right away it wasn't a kangaroo.
No, yeah. That's what his thought was, and the other ones were like, nah. So no, yeah, I would kind of wish that like he could do a little sketch or something, because that it's kind of difficult to picture with what he described. Let me see. Yeah, I don't see anything on his profile about other things related to this story, but
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it does not sound like a made up story, especially because the way he wrote it, he had different spelling errors and different things where he didn't describe to the detail that if you were making something up, you would have gone that little extra detail.
Yeah.
And this sounds like a memory as far as like he's not thinking about those little details, maybe. So it does sound like a legit experience. The thing that
Hmm.
is more so in the question is exactly what was it? I mean, he's not even confident that it was a skinwalker. That was just his best guess.
Yeah. After doing some research, that's what he came up with.
Exactly. So, um, definitely pretty creepy.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe with how close it was in descriptions of everything, you could say, "Oh, was it a Australian Wendigo?" you know,
Yeah.
but not necessarily that. So. I don't know. I mean, there's Aboriginal people in Australia. I haven't gotten into too much Australian folklore. I'm sure they have lots of interesting things over there, especially with the fact that they have spiders bigger than your face. So,
Yeah. So I can only imagine how much crazier stuff they have over there than what we do over here.
yeah, exactly. What's your bet? Was it a skinwalker?
Hey, I think it was probably a kangaroo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just a
But
super creepy kangaroo.
yeah, maybe a kangaroo that's been through some stuff. He's
Yeah,
seen some stuff, and um, yeah, I just I just think that it was a kangaroo that probably been through a lot and attacked because it was on the defense and was trying to protect itself.
yeah. I
Um,
wonder if we can get some more details from this guy because, like, he mentioned that it had eyes like a human.
mhm.
So, like full on like a human, or just more that than a kangaroo? Because I mean, kangaroos just have like black eyes, right? Do they? I mean, it's kind of classic animal eyes, right?
Yeah, and there's a big difference between animal eyes and human eyes
Yeah.
because it seems like animal eyes are a little bit, uh, in a sense, fuller,
Mm-hmm.
where like the pupil and the was it the color around the eyes, there's a bit more full in the eye and there's less white.
Yeah. No, yeah, I see like a photo of a kangaroo that's kind of standing pretty upright. And yeah,
Yeah.
he's got some pretty gnarly claws on his arms.
Hmm.
So yeah, I feel like it could have just been potentially just a buff kangaroo.
Yeah.
Let me type in big kangaroo. What pops
Buff
up?
kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's
Okay.
that one video of uh the kangaroo, like I think it was at a wildlife park, and they're like driving by and there's like fences there, and
Yeah.
it's pretty big.
No, yeah. So if that kangaroo was just kind of acting abnormal,
Yeah.
then yeah, he could be like standing up and really look like a humanoid. Yeah, because I'm seeing pictures here. I'll definitely put them in the video.
Yeah, here's I'll put it on our tab here, and here's a picture of that buff kangaroo that I was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so, and especially like being a kid, that means that kangaroo is much bigger than you. And seeing it up close like that could be pretty freaky.
Yeah.
So, Yeah.
and we've heard what kind of noises they make. So it'd probably be pretty close to like a dog whimpering if it was in, was hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm looking at these pictures of the kangaroos, and some of them are pretty big.
Yeah, and honestly, like, to try to debunk a little bit of the tail stuff, it
Hmm.
sounds like it happened so quickly that like maybe the he just didn't really notice the tail much, because it sounds like it was a pretty fast experience.
Yeah,
I am just curious as to why they were like, that's no kangaroo. Like, what was the defining features that told them that it was not a kangaroo and it was something else?
yeah. I wish we would have got like maybe like a little bit of like a story from the other characters in the story and explain their point of view, like you said, why it wasn't a kangaroo and why they thought it was something else.
Yeah, I mean, it could, like, kangaroo. They stand upright. They kind of hunch over and get real low, especially the smaller kangaroos and whatnot.
Yeah,
So maybe this one just for some reason was standing very upright.
hmm,
I don't know. Yeah, because I'm seeing lots of different things. It does seem like, I don't know anything about kangaroos really.
hmm,
It does seem like there are some that are just kind of smaller, and are your typical, like, almost like they're on all fours stance, and then
yeah,
there's big ones that just kind of look like they hang out standing up straight more often than going down on all fours.
yeah,
So that could have been the case.
yeah,
Could have
yeah.
been.
They look like they could be like as like a normal like size human, like a smaller sized human that's been to the gym a bit. They have like that muscle structure too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if Mike Tyson was in Australia, I'm sure he would have tried to bribe a zoo in Australia to let him fight a kangaroo.
I could totally see that.
If anyone doesn't know, Mike Tyson tried to bribe someone at a zoo to fight a gorilla. They didn't let him. He would have died.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
So, what is your stance on the story?
Just to contrary to what you said, it
Yeah.
was a Skinwalker. I mean, who knows? Maybe there was something off about it. Something a little extra. I mean, obviously, this guy, he's just kind of going off of, like, I've heard these things about Skinwalkers, so he's going for that. So he's not saying that it was a Skinwalker.
Hmm.
Maybe it wasn't a if it wasn't a kangaroo, then what was it? I don't know if there could be some other folklore stuff around there.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just don't know enough.
as far as their Yowie explanation, that is like their version of Bigfoot. But
Hmm.
their version of Bigfoot, from what I've seen, he has like bigger teeth and stuff, like literally like husks or whatever,
Yeah.
and so a little bit more animalistic. Um, so I don't know. Maybe it was a Yowie. I don't know. I don't know enough about the Yowie in particularly, but
Might be a future episode.
yeah, exactly. I know that he said the head was like a kangaroo.
Yeah.
The main thing is like the fact that, and that might have been a feature that made him think Skinwalker, because of like the blend of Skinwalker and Wendigo and this modern depiction of that, adding
Hmm.
in the deer skulls and that kind of stuff. So it's the shape, it's the same shape as like a kangaroo.
Hmm.
So yeah, but I mean, as far as I know, with the Aboriginal people in Australia, I do believe it does get into like witchcraft territory. Don't quote me on that, but just like little things that I've heard and seen. So I'm sure that there's all sorts of stuff when it comes to Skinwalker territory.
Yeah.
Probably not full on though. So
And
maybe
we know,
what was that?
I was gonna say, and we've talked about this multiple times that no matter how far away certain cultures are from each other, there's a lot of stories that are very, very similar that they have in common.
Exactly. So could be a Skinwalker, could be a mutant experiment, half man, half kangaroo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if anything, maybe it was a roided up kangaroo, and he's
Yeah.
just he's mean business.
He's seen stuff.
Yeah, and I guess as far as with his description of his demeanor and everything, it's not
Yeah.
that he was not a predator, but he was like preemptively acting in self defense. That sounds like a kangaroo to me.
Yeah.
Maybe the kangaroo was the pet of a skinwalker. Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Like
know.
reading back in the story, it said it didn't look like it was predatory, and it was minding its own business until it thought that they were a threat. So
Yeah. So, yeah, Australian skinwalker confirmed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Instead of being wolf-like or buffalo-like, it's kangaroo-like.
Hey, it could be a thing. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as the idea of skinwalkers, the attraction of skinwalkers is that you can travel places faster and you can do certain things differently. Kangaroos, I think, can travel pretty fast. Let me look that up real quick. Kangaroo.
Power to imbue yourself with the animal's power that normal humans cannot have.
They can run at a comfortable pace of 20 miles per hour and can sprint nearly 35 miles per hour.
Pretty quick.
They can cover up to 30 feet in a single bound. Although they can reach top speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, they can only maintain the speed for a short distance. Yeah, 70 miles per hour, damn. And then also, they can cover up to 30 feet in a single bound. The guy said it was like about 50 feet, right? 55?
Yeah. They said they were
So-
about 55 feet, so yeah. Makes sense
Yep.
that it could bounce up pretty quick.
Yeah. So sounds like definitely kangaroo. So we'll say it was a kangaroo shapeshifter skinwalker because he wanted to be able to run that fast and catch up to them that fast. So yeah, either way, creepy experience, terrifying experience for a kid, that's for sure. Glad he had those dogs with him. Yeah. Glad that everyone made it out all right. Sorry to, was it P's mom? Well, not sorry to P's mom. Sorry to P's dad. Because P's mom was not very nice, being not faithful.
Yeah.
So
The P had double trauma.
yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, sounds like skinwalkers, they transform themselves to gain certain things. Maybe this skinwalker turned himself into a sexy dude so he could get with P's mom.
Yeah.
Or he transformed into P's mom to break up the marriage, so he could get with P's dad. Maybe.
Never know. 2024, anything can
Or
happen.
maybe he was just the lingerie itself.
That too. That too.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I don't think we have too much more. So do you want to call it here?
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for listening to our Skinwalker Australian story. And thank you to his name was Y Man 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Yeah, cool story. Definitely creepy. Glad that everyone came out all right from that story. And that's another thing. Share your
Yeah.
story, share your speculations, understand that like it might not be what you think it is, but why not theorize, especially if you're confident that it wasn't the typical thing, like the kangaroo. If he's confident that it wasn't a kangaroo, I mean, we can't take that away from him. So
Definitely.
I would love to hear more details about exactly what it looked like if it for some reason was not a kangaroo.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I think that'll do it for this episode, and we'll catch you next time on the potentially fictitious side or the truth side, but always the dark side.